low post, mid post, high post, post game sports.
What's up, sports worlds? The WTP Sports Dudes back with another banger. Live on this Sunday morning. I got Rob up in the building, the main man. What's up with you, Rob? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. I got a lot of work ahead of me this morning after we get off the live stream. But hey, it is what it is. I got to get it done. But I'm feeling great this morning. Good to
Likewise.
be here with you.
Likewise. I'm happy you was able to join this morning. Man, let's go ahead and jump right into the NBA Finals action. We got game 3 tomorrow. The poll is out too. If you tuned in, hit the poll. Tell us who you picking. We got the Knicks and the Spurs in Madison Square Garden tomorrow. Who you got in the game 3? Can the Spurs get back on track?
I mean, I think the Spurs are going to put up one heck of a fight in that game 3, but I just don't see them winning it, man. I think New York will be off the chain. Madison Square Garden is going to be jumping, man. All the stars are going to be in there. Everybody in the city that can get a ticket to this game is going to be there because those fans understand how critical it is to be in that stadium, in that arena, making sure that they're cheering on those Knicks and making that a hostile environment for the Spurs. I think the Knicks win this game, but I think the Spurs put up a really good fight.
Man, you know them. They said the nosebleeds cost $10,000. Man, listen, I got the Spurs. I think they're gonna steal one game. I still think their fate is sealed. I thought they missed the opportunity to win that game too. Um, Maybe they could have called a timeout late. I was opposed to believe that. I was cool with the no timeout. Your best player got the ball. He threw it on the back of Castle. I mean, he should have just kept the ball, came down court and got a bucket or at least got a shot attempt up in the air. But I thought they threw everything at him that they had on in game 2. Um, and I think that they right there, they right on the cusp. I don't think we'll see a sweep. I think the Spurs can get one of these games. I'm thinking it's game 3 though. The stars will be out. I don't know if all the role players on the Knicks is going to show up because I think it's going to be so star studded that somebody going to fold and choke. I think somebody is going to feel the pressure of all the stars. Donald Trump attending the game. It's just going to be a different type of atmosphere there. And I feel like on both sides, really. But I think the best players for the Spurs will come, show up, and lead them guys to a victory. Um, with all the stuff that been going on, Rob, we had attempted assassination after attempted assassination on the president. Do you feel like the president should be attending this game in New York in Madison Square Garden tomorrow night?
Man, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I do not think that he should be attending this game. And not even for some of the reasons that you just mentioned, even though those are really valid reasons. But man, listen, we all know the kind of congestion that is already gonna be trying to get into this game. Then you put the president on top of that, and you already know the congestion that it makes when the president is in town. So I just think it's a really bad idea, man. I mean, it could be one thing if he could come in on a helicopter on the roof and get into the stadium, but I don't think that's even an option, man. It's just going to be way too congested. I think the president being there is going to make it even more complicated, especially for those who are trying to come and enjoy the game and get in and out in a timely fashion, which we know is already going to be difficult anyway. I think it just get compounded with the president being there. You know, just go get you a nice suite somewhere in the country and just sit and watch the game on a big screen TV, President Trump.
Yeah, I don't think he should be attending either, man. I just think, especially with the points you made, I didn't even think of it from that angle. It's going to be a lot of escorts. They're going to have to up security in the place. It's going to be a whole bunch of added things, and not to mention the civilians. We already know how New Yorkers are, bruh. Them streets are gonna be jam packed. Like it's gonna be ridiculous. If New York win this game too, I would expect it to be a whole lot of shenanigans going on with dumpster fires, all types of things. Just New Yorkers are New Yorkers, man. And if you ain't never been to New York, if you know, you know. You know how they say, if you know, you know. You just know, man. It's about to be crazy down there. And that's just an added element to make it even more hectic and crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Anthony? We got Anthony in the chat. Anthony, hit the poll, man. Tell us who you got between the Spurs and the Knicks in game 3. Hey, Rob, what would you do as a GM if you was the GM for the Spurs this off season to bolster this team and kind of keep your place or stay on the up and up? If you was looking at the Spurs and you can make any moves is on the table for you, what would you do with this roster?
Uh, I'm definitely shopping DeAndre Fox. I think that's his name. I'm trying to get him off the books because I think they got a piece that's ready to slide right into that spot and give them some much more valuable minutes. So I'm trying to off that thing there, but I'm also shopping for me a big man who can also do some of that dirty, grimy work down there in the post, who can take on some of those bigger centers that give Wembley trouble. Um, I got to get a guy that can take on that task. But outside of that, I think they're going to do really good with the draft picks that they have. But I would definitely be looking for a veteran, big guy, and also I would shop Fox off to get him off the books and go ahead and see what I can get for him in terms of another role player or something of that nature. But the Spurs have a really good, solid team already.
Yeah, I'm right with you, man. I'm shopping De'Aaron Fox and seeing if I can get 2 or 3 um, more key role players. Uh, I wouldn't even be opposed to calling LA. I think we got some pieces that fit perfect over there with Rui and ultimately Austin Reeves, and even maybe even a Marcus Smart type of player. Um, it's multiple things though. That's a max contract that I just don't think that you looking at now. You probably maybe regretting it. I understood the move originally. You got that point guard that was a proven commodity in the NBA. You didn't know how these young bulls was going to turn out with Dylan Harper and Castle. So you kind of use that as a, um, security blanket. So I think they got what they really was looking for. But as far as playoff performances, De'Aaron Fox was a bit unproven in the playoffs because he played for the Kings. It wasn't really no data to back up whether or not how he was going to perform, whether or not he was going to perform well or not. So I think he served his purpose. I think now you gotta put some assets together and get a high caliber role player or maybe even another star. And you can't me typically you can't really stay pat in a league like this. You have to always try to get better. And I think another star added next to Wimby to take some pressure off of him or alongside of having some of them young talented guards that they got. I think the future is bright. I think they need to really seriously look at a veteran though, a veteran star. It's a lot of names out there. We ain't gonna go through all the names, but it's some guys that you can go get for sure.
Yeah.
Anthony said because they don't exactly like each other. Oh, hold on. What did he say? What was the first comment? He said, I'm not saying Pop is good, do something, but I don't think it's a good idea. I have him and the president in the same building when there's possibly be a massive confrontation between man, if the president and Pop get into it at a nationally televised event, which is the final event, all eyes, 90% viewership is up. That will be really bad look for the league. I don't think Popovich is I don't think he lacks that type of professionalism. Pop is he is a cold, stone blooded dude, but I don't see them even running into each other for real. Pop probably would be in the bleacher somewhere with Tim Duncan while the president is in a box or something watching the game.
Yeah.
If you are New York and they ultimately win the championship, will you do you think they should run it back or do you think they should hit the market for one of these big names?
Man, that's a really good question right there. I think they should run it back. Maybe after they see how it goes next year, maybe they might see that they need to get another piece. I think they got to get another piece at some point. I just don't know if adding another piece after a championship would bode well for the Knicks. Maybe they need to see themselves not accomplish it in on a back to back before they mentally say, "Oh man, you know what? We need to get another piece." Because once you win it, you feel like you can run it back with that same squad, and a lot of times you want to run it back with that same squad to see if you can make that happen. But man, you throwing out Giannis and Leonard, it's like, dude, you kind of want to get one of them, dude, especially Giannis. I mean, man, out of all three of them, I would rather have Giannis than either one of them three. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I would run it back. I would run it back.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't run it back because I think you would have to get better. I think the opportunity for New York to win it all this year, I think all the cards pretty much got dealt into their favor. You had Boston with Jason Tatum fresh off of Achilles injury, first just coming back off of Achilles injury. I think they were the power of the East. I think they still truly are the power of the East as long as they got Tatum and Brown on that roster. Um, I think you gonna have to get better. I think they match up really well with San Antonio. I think this series would be a whole totally different ball game if it was OKC because I don't think that's a good matchup for them. But sports is made up on matchups, so I don't think they should stay pat whether or not they win. I think they need to add a real star, bona fide star, if they do hit the market and switch up. Um, and I know Cat is playing well. The Brunson thing, he's still taking 30 shots to get 30 points. If you run into somebody in the future who's a bit more efficient than what we're seeing from the Spurs, that's not going to cut it. So I would definitely want to see them hit the market. And out of those three guys, you would take Giannis. I would probably take Kawhi. Kawhi, when he on the court, I know he don't. I know he low manages a lot, but when he's on the court, man, he's still, in my opinion, a top 6, 7 player, man, in this league. Like, dude had a stretch this year where he was just on an absolute heater. Um, let's tap into Anthony's comment real quick. He said, where are we at? He said he has a question. Would it make sense for them? I think when he says them, I think he's referring to San Antonio to trade for Tyler Hero if the trade between Miami and Milwaukee falls through with Giannis. Are you referring to San Antonio, Anthony?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
talking about San Antonio.
yeah.
Oh,
I don't really like that because Hero, he not a defender, and all them dudes over there play defense. I don't think you want to add a player like that. What you think, Rob?
I agree with you. I wouldn't go after Tyler Hero. I mean, of course he's a good shooter and all of that, but I think he, like you said before, he doesn't play defense, and that team plays defense. They're a team that can keep teams from getting into the 110s and 120s. They can hold a team in the 90s and win games because they play really solid defense throughout the entire game. And I think Tyler Hero will probably mess that up for them because he's a defensive liability. I like the thought though, but I don't think that would be a good move for them.
Yeah. Hey, anything else you want to talk about before we move on over to the NFL, as pertaining to the NBA?
No, no.
Anthony said that this is where I kind of disagree. Tyler insulated in San Antonio where he doesn't have to play defense because every other player in San Antonio plays it. He can focus on scoring. Yeah, but this the thing too. When you got a team that's you have no liabilities on defense and you insert a liability on defense, now opposing teams have a person that they can specifically attack. Put him in pick and roll and get him switched onto your best player every time, and now you could just attack him now. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. There, I don't see no liabilities on San Antonio. Everybody got good size. Everybody are capable defenders. I just don't. I don't know. I like two ways. They like two ways over there, and I like two ways that they got surrounded on that team. Everybody's two ways or 3-and-D guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could do that during the regular season. They can probably, hide him in some games. But when it comes playoff time, bro, you already know they smell blood in the water in the playoffs, bro. They gonna make sure. Oh yeah, this is the weak link on there. We going after him, and they gonna
Yeah,
put him in all
barbecue.
kinds of situations and force him to have to play D against somebody who he can't guard. So I think it's a good thought. And I hear what you're saying, but I think once it gets to the playoffs, though, they're gonna come after him.
Barbecue chicken, man. They gonna do the same
Barbecue.
thing they do to Austin Reeves. All right, let's
Yeah.
switch over to some NFL talks, man. Coming into training camp, who do you look at and you say they might be a tad bit overrated?
Man, that's a really good question, man, because I don't all of the teams that made the playoffs last year, I think they have a chance to make the playoffs again. Tad bit overrated. Man, I'm a, I'm gonna go with the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. I know they got an amazing defense, but I think that offense might be looking a little bit different without Walker because Walker did get traded, right?
Nah,
Right?
they didn't pay him in free agency. He went to the Chiefs.
He went to
They
the
didn't pay
Chiefs.
him.
Okay, so that might be the team. I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think they're gonna repeat.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stay right there with another Super Bowl contendee, uh, in the Patriots. I think the Patriots had the weakest schedule out of all those playoff teams last year. And the fact that they made it to the Super Bowl, we know they're gonna beef that schedule up. And I think they're gonna be scratching and clawing to make the playoffs. A lot of people love the AJ Brown addition. I like AJ Brown. He's a dog. He come with locker room concerns for me. Hopefully, and then they got a lot of things surrounding Vrabel right now with the scandal, the cheating scandal, and all that. I think they take a huge step back this year.
Yeah,
What
I
about
can see that.
underrated teams? Who you think is underrated?
I'm going to go with a team that I think is in that division with Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Carolina, and they got somebody else. Is Arizona in that division with them?
That's Atlanta, Carolina, and the Saints.
The Saints. I'm gonna go with a team out of that division. I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, they really are the best team in that division. They just suffered a lot of injuries, and I think if they go healthy, they're going to be the team. I think they're probably the most underrated team in the NFL right now. I mean, you got a lot of teams that weren't very good last year, and they're probably not going to be very good again this year. But I think a team that should have been in the playoffs last year, but injuries kept them out, was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm going with Tampa Bay as the most underrated team.
You took the words right out my mouth, dog. You know my Buccaneers. I think a lot of people sleeping on us right now because the loss of Mike Evans. A lot of injuries, as you said. Um, we was banged up on both sides of the ball for a lot of the year. We'll see what they do with Baker. They in contract talks. We'll see. Usually, typically, that stuff can kind of affect what's going on, but hopefully they get something done before training camp opens. um, it sounds like we're not close right now. I know Baker probably wanted 40 million, 50 million, somewhere close in that range, because he has had us in the playoffs and he has been winning that division over the past several years. So I know he want to get paid. We got to get to the right number. But yeah, my Buccaneers, man, I don't think enough people show us love around the league. What division do you see being the toughest this year?
It's probably that division with Seattle, the Rams. I think that's Arizona and San Francisco 49ers. I think that's probably the toughest division. If I didn't go with them, it will probably have to be the division with the Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going AFC North. The Browns, I think, will be a whole lot better. The Ravens is, I think, with a healthy Lamar, they added some weapons. I think they're a playoff team. The Steelers, I think the Steelers is going to be another team in that division. I think they got three teams that probably is going to be in the playoffs, in my opinion. So I'm going with the AFC North as well. Hey, so Russell Wilson retired after 14 seasons. Do you think Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer?
Oh man, maybe if Russell Wilson played maybe 25 years ago, he would be a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't. Yeah, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's had a really good career. Started off really, really good with Seattle, but I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. Not when you start looking at the numbers that it'll take to get into that Hall of Fame. Now, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think he like on the cusp of it.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I think he just missing. It's so many dudes that like we feel like should be Hall of Famers that's not Hall of Famers, and his resume just don't stack. So I don't know. I feel like it's always too like, when do you become eligible and who you going up against to whether or
Mhm.
not you making the Hall of Fame a lot of the times. Um, so we'll see what his class of guys look like. But nah, I can't quite put him in there, man. Even though he had some great years over there in Seattle. Let's stay in the NFL. I came across this, man. The NFL, they doing a lot of new things of playing football games on different days of the week. We got Wednesday games, we got Friday games, we got Saturday games now in the NFL. Do you like NFL doing Wednesday games? And do you think they're being greedy?
I mean, they definitely being greedy. That's for sure. they're definitely being greedy, man. I do not like the idea of having Wednesday games. I really feel like when they started doing games on Thursday, I thought it was a good idea, but I would even like to see them get away from that too. I just feel like, man, growing up, you look forward to seeing Sunday football, and you got look forward to seeing Monday night football, and that was good enough for me, man. I would like to see them move away from that idea going on Wednesday. They just being greedy, man. Just being greedy. Plus, I'm quite sure the players and organizations feel like, man, we tired of these all this short week stuff, man, and all of that. You got to set 17 games. I think it's a bad move. But the NFL is the hottest sports thing in America, so they're gonna do what they want to do because people gonna want to watch it, and they're gonna watch it. I don't think the numbers are gonna be that great, but people are gonna watch.
Hey, I'm really not opposed to it because I don't like that they still in Saturdays a little bit. I don't like the Saturday game because I feel that's college football day. Sunday, we know it was religion. They say football. Football is that's the NFL day, really. That's football over church is what a lot of people say. Um, but I do like it for Thanksgiving week because you telling me we get all this good food and we can watch football Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. We got 5 days of wellness week in football. I love that. I love that whole idea. I love the whole thought behind it. And where it seems kind of bleak of things to be watching, we got football. So I love it for that week and that week alone. Um, I don't think I like Saturday though, because I'm college football, bro. I just love college football. So, but that week is gonna be monster now. Now I gotta eat every day. I usually save my stomach for Thursday and not eat nothing on Wednesday. I gotta eat every day now. Oh man, hey, let's switch over to a little bit of WNBA action before we finish it off with some college football talk. Man, I don't know if you seen the Aces last night. Asia Wilson and Jackie Young, they went off, combined 55 points. Asia Wilson had 28 points and 14 rebounds, 20 points at the half. Jackie Young finished with 27 points, and she was on a heater in that second half. And that was a Commissioner Cup game. They do the Commissioner Cup in the WNBA. It's pretty much scheduled games that goes to the standings of the Commissioner Cup. I think whoever wins, each player receives like 500K or something like that. So it was a Commissioner Cup game. So it was a lot at stake in this game. Do you think the Aces have a good chance of a repeat, and what percentage would you give it?
I mean, I think they have a good chance of repeating. I think they're gonna probably definitely be there. Um, I'll give them about a 65% chance of winning it, but they won it the last two times. I think it is. So it's time for somebody to dethrone them. So I think they're gonna be there, but I don't think they're gonna win it. Even though I'm giving them a 65% chance because they got Asia Wilson. So when you got Asia Wilson, man, listen, she can't be guarded, bro. So I'm gonna give them a 65% chance. I think they're gonna be there, but I think somebody's gonna pop them this year.
Yeah, hey, yeah. Let me ask you this: while you saying they got Asia Wilson, is she the GOAT? Is she the greatest woman of all time when we talk about WNBA?
Oh, when you talking about WNBA, I mean, do you is Cheryl Swoops and Cooper, are they considered WNBA or no?
I mean, sure, that was right before, but she's a basketball player. You know,
I mean, my greatest women's basketball player of all time is Cheryl Miller. But if you just want to stick to this WNBA thing, I will give it to Asia Wilson.
Man, nah, we going. Hey, I done heard the legendary stories about Cheryl. You know, I done heard it. I didn't get to witness that with my eyes because I'm the baby of the crew. But if that's your quote, say that's your quote. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's Cheryl Miller all day, man. I don't think nobody else can hold a candlestick to her, bro. In my opinion. And there's been some fantastic women basketball players. But Cheryl Miller, man, that's something different, bro. That's something different.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm taking the Aces over the field, man. I give them more than a 50% chance. So I got to take the Aces over the field. We know I'm a gambling man. Um, I will put my money on them over the field. I think her and Jackie Young is the best 1-2 duo in the league. It's like Kobe and Shaq. And I mean, it's explosive. It's different too, man. But it's so many skilled players in the W. You know, really, it got to be the way you got to get them. It just got to be your day. You know, if it's your day, you can get them.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
jump over to some college football. Let me. So I seen this. Virginia Tech, man, they had an anonymous donor donate 75 million to athletics, mainly I think football for real, but they donated. It's a Virginia Tech family. Like I said, it's anonymous. Um, they didn't tell us who the family was, but they also getting 229 million from the university. And strictly just thinking about football, will we see with this influx of cash? Will we see some of the old Virginia Tech teams? And if you think we will, how soon do you see Virginia Tech really been a national title contender? Because that's a lot of money, man. And you know that's the name of the game right now. You need a couple dollars to play with to really actually compete on a national title level.
Well, I'll tell you this one take. They're in a perfect situation to really become really, really, really good because they're in a conference that I think that they could be at the top of with this kind of money. And they're also in an area where they have a lot of really good football players on that part of the East Coast when you start dealing with Maryland, D.C., Virginia, parts of the Carolinas. They can really get some really, really talented football players there. And I think James Franklin is the type of coach that now he starts to see that, listen, I was at Penn State and there were some things I wasn't able to overcome at Penn State that I can't allow to be a barrier for me here at Virginia Tech. And I think he'll be a better coach because of it. And I think this Virginia Tech team could be like the Virginia Tech teams of old, play really good defense, have a really good solid offense with some really talented players, and be in the thick of things in the ACC every year with the likes of Miami. I don't know what Clemson is going to look like in the future. I don't know what Florida State is going to look like in the future, but I think Virginia Tech has an opportunity to look good like we see this Miami team looking right now.
Man, I remember in the early 2000s, man, this Virginia Tech program, you know, that wasn't a game that you wanted to see on the schedule, especially if you had to travel to that fan base and to that stadium to play them. I think the fan base is intact still. I think they got the excitement that they need. I think James Franklin is bringing a new energy to them, and I think the last part of the puzzle was a little influx in money, so he can get some of these talented players in that DMV area. Um, Man, I think this year I'm on record saying I think Franklin is going to win 9 games at minimum. I think that the schedule is built for it. Um, I think him bringing over some of his guys from Penn State, and keeping a lot of the players that was already on that roster, a lot of the key guys, that they have a good shot of being very competitive in that league. I think we all think that Miami is probably head and shoulders above everybody, but I think that number two spot is wide open for the taking, and I think Virginia Tech needs to have a close eye on them, especially with this money. After this year, I feel like they should be well in the realm of competing with Miami. Well in the realm. You can go out and spend 25, 30 million on your roster, and have enough talent in that ACC, who we all kind of believe is bit bit underneath some of the key the other major Power Four conferences. Um, but yeah, man, I think that influx of cash is a game changer. Yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely got players in that area, man. You just gotta, you know what I mean, you gotta put some tape up and keep them home. So recruiting news, this is the busiest month of college football recruiting, Rob. Let me hear some news, man. What Texas got going on over there? Any updates on recruiting? Who's y'all's key targets? All of it. I know you got all the information for me. I want to know.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've gotten to the point now in this year to where I don't follow the recruiting as much because I've seen Steve Sarkisian and that staff sort of have a way of doing things, and even when it looks bleak in June, it starts to look better in July, and then it really looks really good in December. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. I hope that we get that tight end that you mentioned in the chat. I know that there's a lot of teams that are going after him. I really do feel like he's probably going to stay in the Midwest, man. Even though I said in the chat, I don't think he'll go to Ohio State. I think he's going to probably stay in the Midwest, though. But Eastern Royal, man, a lot of he's from he's from Louisiana. They're making a pitch for him. He's committed to Texas right now, but Texas really needs to hold on to Eastern Royal, who was one of the top wide receivers in this year's recruiting class. So I hope that they're able to do that. And then they got a couple of linemen that they're going after as well. The thing I love about Texas, though, and the way they recruit is although we don't always lock down all of those guys that are in Texas, they're able to cast a wide net and go all over the country and get guys like you've seen them be able to do with running backs in Florida and in Arizona. I think they got their eye on a running back in Arizona right now, and they're able to get players from all over the country that really fit their mold. And they've been doing some really good evaluations on some players who are not not 5 stars or 4 stars, but a lot of 3-star guys who can fill that 105-man roster so that they can have some developmental guys because they know they're going to lose guys in the portal that are going to want playing time, like a Nick Brooks who decided to part ways after 1 year and got some playing time. I thought for sure Nick Brooks would stay and fight for one of those positions on the offensive line this year, but he decided to part ways. And I feel like Texas understands that, along with a lot of the other major universities, that you got to go ahead and get some developmental guys just in case a guy that you project to start that next coming year gets an offer from somebody else and he decides to go for whatever reason. But I think Texas is in a good position. I just need them to be in the top 5. Right now, they're around 13 in this recruiting year. If they can land in the top 5, that'd be great. They'll probably end up around 7 or 8, though, in my opinion, with the guys that I see them going after right now, unless they get some other guys that they decide to go after that might change it up for them.
You know, I learned that Sark too. He does a lot of. I mean, not necessarily late recruiting, but he gets a lot of commits late in the recruiting cycle. So I'm not worried about y'all being 13 right now. We seen this last year with y'all's recruiting class. It was like a 2-3 week span at the end of the year where y'all got a gang of commitments, and it shot y'all's recruiting ranking all the way up. So, and I think he leaned a little more towards the portal now too.
Yeah.
What you think about that assessment?
No, that's spot on. I mean, we know he's going to be a guy that's going to come on late in the recruiting cycle, but we also understand that he understands that this portal is here, and this is where I'm going to have to make those moves. I think the one year that we decided to go with the lineman that we thought was going to be ready, and we did not look good that year, it really hurt us, and I don't think he's going to ever chance that again. He's going to make sure that he's in a position to go and get some guys in the portal. And this year, this that you're going to see some of those guys from the portal that he got on the offensive line. They got a lot of experience that played a lot of football come in and plug and play for Texas this year. But that's a spot on assessment that you just gave.
Parlay Poe said that his Wolverines just got two four-star cornerbacks this week, but he worried about getting an elite receiver. Just lost an in-state five-star to Texas Tech. You know they came and dropped that bag, Poe. They dropped that bag, man. I
I'm,
don't know
I'm glad he mentioned that too. I'm glad he
what
mentioned that about the wide receivers because that was one of the positions that I feel like Michigan probably has not been the greatest at is getting those wide receivers. And you start to see that affect their offense. They're always going to have a really good running game. They're always going to have a really good lineman. They're going to have a solid quarterback play, solid tight ends. But I think offensively, wide receiver has been the spot where they've missed in recruiting, and I hope that they get that thing fixed.
Yeah, if we see um maybe a switch at quarterback with them, I think we so early in the cycle that a guy could still choose to come down there um and play for them because we understand that Underwood, he's a dual threat. He wants to use his legs, but from what I hear, the other guy is more of a pocket passer. So if some of these recruits like what they see, they understand he can get them the ball. I don't think like nobody's gonna keep on turning them down for real. That all they missing is, I mean, they still got Marsh though, right? Poe, y'all still got Marsh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Marsh, you get one other guy for real. Now you cooking with fish grease, You cooking with fish grease. Really, you just need like one or two weapons. Y'all always got a good tight end, always. But yeah, with the Buckeyes, man, we've been picking up some steam with David Gabriel Georges. We need him. We absolutely need him in this class because when you look at the roster, um, you got you definitely got Bo Jackson still and Isaiah West. Both will be sophomores this year. But outside of them, when you look down the road, them other guys, they're good football players like Favor Aki, who's from Ohio. We kind of got a discount with him, but I wouldn't consider him a dude. And then of course you got Legend Bay, who I don't think is an every down back. So by time this freshman class or this recruiting cycle, these group of seniors come in, all those guys will be juniors. Who's to say that one don't go pro and then you got 1 year left? I think you have to get a big time running back in this cycle, which is David Gabriel George, who's the number two running back overall, 6'1", 215, 220-ish. Um, really twitchy. He remind me of Beanie Wells for real. If I had to compare him to a Ohio State running back, his biggest comp, big back but fast. Twitchy. But if you don't get a running back in this class, you're gonna have to hit the portal at some point. And I don't think we want to go to the portal for a running back. I think we like to groom our own guys that we recruit out of high school. So I think he's the number one target on our board that we must have. Um, but outside of that, for real, we got everything else we need in this class except for maybe receiver, and you spoke on Brock Williams. I hope we can pull Brock Williams. We're going to a whole bunch of three tight end sets, especially with the Arthur Smith hire. We'll see. We never can keep our coordinators because we're good every year. So people just come to our team and pick out whatever staff members they want. You know, we lose staff, OC, DC, position group coaches every year. Somebody come offer them money. We just lost our offensive line coach the year before last to the Dolphins, I think, with Justin Fry. I think he had the Dolphins. But uh, Cortez Hankton, man, I'm not liking what I'm seeing from him so far. We missed out on about 4 targets that we were after in that receiving group. And now like the options is kind of bleak, you know. The options to get a couple guys in this class is kind of bleak. We got Jameer Brown still, but that's a that's a that's a Brian Hartline. That's a Brian Hartline recruit, you know. So Cortez Hankton, we gotta continue to be wide receiver you. We gotta pick it up on the recruiting side for him. But everything else, oh, our quarterback is about to flip. Our quarterback that's in our class, he is about to flip. I don't think we want him anymore. I think we've been trying to add another quarterback to this cycle, so that's telling me that we losing faith in Brady Edmonds, kid out of Cali, 4-star recruit. I think what's turning them off about him is he just not an athlete. He's not. He got a rocket of an arm. He got good mechanics. He remind you of Kyle McCord, man. He just can't move in that pocket, and I think they don't want to go back to that, especially after having a Julian Saying and Taylor St. Clair. Julian Saying, you can say what you want about him. He don't run, but he's not a terrible athlete. You know, this is a kid that surfs in his off time. Like he's not a bad athlete. He can move around a little bit, but I don't think they want to go to that unmobile quarterback. So you know, we offered the kid that's committed to Nebraska, but that don't look like we're going to be able to pull him away from there. Um, I don't know. We might skip this recruiting class without a quarterback. Honestly, dude got an official visit to UCLA out of all schools. You got an official to UCLA. You gonna go from Ohio State commit to UCLA? That's kind of crazy. I think his next best offer is Northwestern or something though. So, um, but outside of that, man, we doing what we usually do. We got recruits and guys everywhere. We got a couple project guys and all that. So I like this class and how it's shaping up.
Yeah, UCLA need an influx of money like Virginia Tech just got.
I'm surprised it ain't out there. You know, ain't that in where's UCLA at in LA? Ain't it in a rich neighborhood or something?
Yeah, yeah, it's a private school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going
They
on.
done, they done had enough breadwinners come through there, man, that they could be throwing them some dollars and cents for sure.
Poe said y'all's tight end position will get a workout this year with Smith. We're gonna be straight, man. I like my tight end group. I think this is the best tight end group we done had on campus probably forever since I've been alive. What's up, Moss JoJo? Good morning. Hey, that's all I got though, man. You got anything else you want to spew about? Oh, no, it ain't. Let me ask you about Greg Sankey and him saying that there's nothing remotely close about being joining super conferences with the Big Ten. You know, with him saying that, he scoffed at the notion of it. With him saying that, I know you a big fan of trying to create these super leagues. How do you feel about him saying that's not even a thought right now?
I mean, I think a lot of times these guys say stuff like that, man, because they're trying to hide their hand. They don't want people to know what they're thinking about behind the scenes and stuff. But I think Greg Sankey is starting to do some things to where now he's starting to put himself up under the microscope, and then you might see the SEC move in a different direction in a year or two away from him as their commissioner. I think that he just may be talking a little bit too much. He should just be focusing more on what he can do to better serve the SEC conference and maybe not get into all this other stuff. Um, I don't know, man, because I think now he's starting to get some fan bases behind, getting a little disgruntled with him. He's starting to get some coaches that might be getting a little bit disgruntled with him, and I think that his days might be numbered. I could be totally wrong, but from the feeling I'm getting right now, I just think he's talking a little bit too much. He probably need to just focus on some behind the scene things and not talk so much.
You tired of Sankey?
Hey man, listen, I'm getting a little bit tired of Sankey. But at one point, I was loving the guy, man. But now I'm like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah, man. I don't think he got a firm plan either, man. Because he talking about they still are really like on the 16-team playoff, but he gonna revisit it about the 24 later on in the year. So he says it's gonna be a decision made on it later on. I don't think he got a real firm plan. I don't think nobody on the same page out there either. I think everybody wants something different.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, when you got three other conferences that's already leading towards 24, I mean, and you the sole holdout? Come on, man. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? What are you really holding out for, especially if you don't have no plan? So it just don't make no sense, man. This don't make no sense.
You know, I feel like the 2014 playoff will benefit the SEC the most. Because how many teams y'all be having ranked? You know they said y'all already getting $5 million with the extra added game in conference. So let's think about all the money it will be added with if y'all got 7, 8 teams in the top 25. You know what I mean? 8 teams, that's gonna bring so much millions of dollars into that conference.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Don't
go ahead.
Just talking a little bit too much. I just think you're talking too much, man. You know, we'll see how it goes, though.
Yeah, that's all I got, though, man. Hey, we thank everybody. Yeah, ain't nobody hit the poll. Did anybody hit the poll? No, nobody hit the poll.
I didn't see the poll.
Look, I ain't have it on the screen. Nobody hit the poll, but yeah, hey, thanks for everybody tuning in, man. Like, comment, subscribe. All the channels are down at the bottom. You got Rob with WTP for Life. You got me, the One Take Zaya podcast. You got SEC Sean. You got Level Up Sports 10 with JoJo Mossbergs. Tap into him with him if you want to join the podcast and talk about anything. His email is down there for conversations with Mossberg. You got Parlay Poe, the Blitzberg podcast. And don't forget about City League TV with T1, man. Go tap into his Facebook. He bring you a lot of local high school sports action, a lot of local drama, theater, and conversations with a lot of prominent people that does well for the community. Thank y'all for joining this Sunday. Oh, don't forget to tap into the WTP Sports Dudes website. Also, we got the Patreon. You can find us at WTP Sports Dudes 2026 on Patreon. And that's it, man. I plugged this in, man. Hey, I hope everybody have a wonderful Sunday and finish out the weekend. You feel me? Hopefully it goes slower because I do not want to go to work tomorrow. But I'm going to go. But y'all know what it is. We was in the building. Peace.
Low post, mid post, high